The Dallas Cowboys just traded a 4th-round pick for quarterback Trey Lance. But what if the Cowboys decided to move off of Dak Prescott and name Trey Lance as the starter? Obviously, this is a hypothetical, and no Dak slander will be tolerated. He is still the starter in Dallas. But for the sake of this what-if video, Trey Lance has been traded to the Dallas Cowboys and will be named QB1. Trey Lance was the number 3 overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. The San Francisco 49ers actually traded up to get him, which is now a very questionable move in hindsight. He's only 23 years old with lots of time to develop into some kind of franchise quarterback. A 6'4", 224-pound frame. We've got a lot to work with here. Trey Lance is a very moldable piece of clay for this Dallas Cowboys franchise. Now, the first thing we've got to do is shed a tear as we trade away Dak Prescott. There's no use in having a 30-year-old superstar as our backup when we can move off of him and get some extra pieces that are going to help Trey Lance lead this team. How about Dak Prescott for wide receiver DK Metcalf? The Seahawks are rocking with Geno Smith, who is not quite a superstar quarterback. Some might even argue that Dak's not. But hey, with a massive weapon added to this Dallas offense and now at Trey Lance's disposal, let's jump into his first game and see what happens. So week 1 in New York, going up against the Giants, an away game. What will Trey Lance be able to do in his first game as a Cowboy? Trey Lance starts with a 7-13 loss week 1 to the Giants. Let's see how he played. 20 of 32, that's 62% completion percentage for 219 yards, a 93 passer rating. No interceptions. Hey, I'll take that all day. Only 1 touchdown, and the longest pass of the game was 25 yards. DK Metcalf had 6 receptions, but the touchdown would go to Brandon Cooks. Trey Lance obviously has a long way to go development-wise if he's going to be a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, but this Dallas team is built and ready to win now. Trey Lance has the pieces on offense. He's got the defense. Is he going to be able to develop enough in 1 year to be a Super Bowl contender? Will it take more time than that? Will this talent-charged Dallas team be able to stick around long enough for Trey Lance to build himself up? Only one way to find out. Obviously, Trey Lance will be a focused player for development on this team, but now let's send to mid-season and see where Trey Lance and these Dallas Cowboys are halfway through the year. Here we are in week 8 of the season, and the Dallas Cowboys are 4-2, but somehow find themselves in 3rd place of the NFC East. That week 1 loss really coming back to bite him right now. As far as development, it looks like CeeDee Lamb became an X factor. Trey Lance looking at a 76 overall, +2 from morale. 4-2 is definitely a respectable record, but in this division, it looks like we're going to need to be the best of the best to have a chance. Oh no. That second loss at this point in the season was to the San Francisco 49ers, a blowout 40-7. That matchup has all of the history in the world right now, as Trey Lance was just traded from the Niners to the Cowboys, and the Niners have knocked the Cowboys out of the playoffs in 2 straight years. Maybe this is just the NFL scriptwriters setting up for Trey Lance to have the revenge playoff game of the century. Let's go ahead and sim the playoffs and see what happens. This is a simulation thing. I can't step in and do nothing. I gotta see what Trey Lance is able to do with this Dallas Cowboys team. I set him up for success by having to be a focused progression player. That's all I can do. Ooh, the back half of the season was a disaster. Starting out 4-2, finishing 8-9 at the end of the season, missing the playoffs. I definitely was not envisioning this team missing the playoffs, even with Trey Lance at quarterback. There was some development up to a 78 overall, but man, missing the playoffs 8-9. Trey Lance really is a Dallas Cowboys quarterback. On the season, Trey Lance had 4,100 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Honestly respectable for a lower tier quarterback. Only a 65% completion percentage. Probably could get those numbers up. His receivers were decent. CeeDee Lamb, 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns on the year. Brandon Cooks with less than half the receptions, but even more touchdowns at 15. DK Metcalf, the newly acquired straight-up trade Dak Prescott for number 2 receiver DK Metcalf. 1 touchdown on the year. That is horrible. Micah Parsons with 16 sacks. Trey Lance was NFC Offensive Player of the Week with 3 passing touchdowns in Week 15. And again in Week 9, he had 4 passing touchdowns and was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Parsons had a 4-sack game. And in Week 3, Lance was Player of the Week. He had some Players of the Week. He had a decent year. I mean, passing yards, touchdowns, the whole 9. Now it's a matter of, will he develop enough next season? And will the Cowboys be able to keep enough pieces together? Simulating to the start of the next season, looks like DK Metcalf regressed with that 1 touchdown on the year from an X Factor to a superstar. But Trey Lance developing to a star. Maybe things are looking up. Now it's time for Trey Lance's first training camp with the Dallas Cowboys. Hopefully this is an important tool in him taking the next step with this team. Now in Trey Lance's second year with the Dallas Cowboys, the 2024 season, let's go ahead and sim to mid-season and see what's going on. And the Dallas Cowboys, quarterbacked by Trey Lance, are 4-3 at the mid-season point, but this time on top of the NFC East. Maybe the division took a step back this season. Trey Lance still just a 78 overall, the same overall he was at the start of this season. Halfway through, no progression is not something we want to see. Well, let's move along to the end of Trey Lance's second year with the Cowboys, see if they're able to make the playoffs this time. 4-3 at this point. Last year they were 4-2. Will we make the playoffs this year? At the wild card round of the season, the Cowboys are 3rd in the NFC East again, but it looks like they made the playoffs and are playing the Minnesota Vikings. Inching their way to the playoffs, have Trey Lance and the Cowboys progressed much at all in the back half of the season? Here we are, Trey Lance 81 overall, but it looks like +2 from morale, which I don't think he had before. So really, I mean, he's right there on another overall boost, but CeeDee Lamb a 96 overall. Goodness. And on defense, this Cowboys defense is nasty. Every single player is a star depth trait or higher. DeMarcus Lawrence is a superstar. Motzie Smith is a star. Micah Parsons is a 99 overall. Trayvon Diggs a 93. This Cowboys defense is insane. How is this team 9-8? With one of the best defenses I've ever seen and an offense with that many weapons, how is this team 9-8? Trey Lance with 3,900 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. His numbers are a little bit down from last year, but he has 3 fewer interceptions. CeeDee Lamb, 1,500 receiving again. DK Metcalf, doubled his receiving touchdowns this regular season, but still is 3rd receiver behind Brandon Cooks for some reason. Trayvon Diggs with 5 picks, and Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence both with 12 sacks. Let's get into Trey Lance's first playoff game with the Cowboys. Let's hop in and see what happens in this matchup with the Vikings. And the boys are actually up 17-7 at the half. Will Trey Lance be able to pull out a playoff win? The 3rd quarter must have gone amazing as the Cowboys are up 31-7 at the start. Trey Lance and these Dallas Cowboys are about to get a playoff win.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
And I spoke too soon as the Vikings go on a run to make it 31-31, and we're in overtime. Trey Lance at quarterback. It's 2nd and 2 in overtime. Play action. He's gonna get lit up. Minnesota's 5th sack of the game. 3rd and 8 in the shotgun. Trey Lance takes the snap, surveying the field. He's gonna get sacked again. The Cowboys offensive line falling apart in the most crucial moment of their season, having to punt it away. Out trots Kirk Cousins. Can this Cowboys defense, an elite defense, can they come up big? It's 3rd and 2, lining up in some kind of a jumbo set with a bunch on the left. Looks like they're gonna run it to try to pick it up. It's a play action. Cousins looking downfield. He'll find someone. Van Der Esch trying to find a way to captain this defense to hold on in the biggest game of their season. A handoff and a seam up the middle goes for 11 yards. 2nd and 6. Cousins, right side of the field. It'll be complete on the sideline for another Minnesota first down. Their momentum is building as they are in Cowboys territory, already in field goal range. And ladies and gentlemen, it is not looking good for the Cowboys. It's Trayvon Diggs who was beat on the play to give up the first down. SMH. And a huge pass here will get the Vikings down to the 10. This game looks just about over. Cousins going to the end zone. It's incomplete. They could just kick a field goal right now, but they're still snapping for plays, trying to get the touchdown. He's going to throw an incompletion. 3rd and 10. What are the Vikings doing here? He'll throw it, and it's almost intercepted! A dropped intercepted could have saved the Cowboys' season. Instead, the Vikings are going to go to 4th down and kick a game-winning field goal. Why they were ever passing it in that situation, I will never know. The kick is good, and the Minnesota Vikings are going to advance to the divisional round and send Trey Lance and our Cowboys home. Look at that score summary, dude. 31-7 at the end of the 3rd quarter, and the Vikings score 24 unanswered points in the 4th quarter to force overtime and win in OT. With the Cowboys winning the coin toss and getting the ball in OT, they still couldn't get it done. Wow. Sounds like a Cowboys way to lose. That was painful, but how'd the team do? Trey Lance, 24-32, 133 passer rating, 75% completion, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Actually a superstar showing from Trey Lance. Can't be mad at that. Receiving, Brandon Cooks had 2 touchdowns, and Peyton Hendershot had 1 catch for 2 yards and a touchdown. Metcalf and Lamb combined for 6 catches and 44 yards. Where are our superstars in that receiving room? Trayvon Diggs had 2 interceptions in the playoff loss. Micah Parsons with a sack and a half. How was this not a win? Somehow with a 31-7 lead after 3 quarters, our Cowboys are getting sent back to the offseason packing again. And at week 1 of the 2025 regular season, Trey Lance is a superstar. What happened in training camp? Still an 81 overall, but a superstar. He's got quick draw and tied out. Whoa, is this the year for Trey Lance? But DK Metcalf, with another disappointing season, has regressed to a star, no longer a superstar. Brandon Cooks appears to no longer be on the team, which puts Michael Gallup back at wide receiver 3. And Tyler Smith is now our starting left tackle, as Tyron Smith appears to have retired. These are some interesting changes on defense. DeMarcus Lawrence is an X factor with that 12.5 sack season last year. We have a superstar corner, but Stephon Gilmore is either retired or gone as well. And Malik Hooker is a superstar free safety. Some very interesting development, but once again, this team looks good enough to potentially compete for a Super Bowl. 84 overall offense, 87 overall defense, 85 overall. Also, Nick Bosa on the Bears. Well, let's see where this team's at mid-season. Once again, Trey Lance, his 3rd year with the Cowboys after a heartbreaking choke job against the freaking Vikings in the wild card round. Is this the year for Trey Lance and his Dallas Cowboys? Will we have more or less than 4 wins at the midseason point? We went 4-2 and 4-3 in the following year. What do we got? And at the midseason point, the Cowboys are 5-2. And what is this right here? Breakout quarterback? Could Trey Lance actually be becoming an X-Factor quarterback? What is going on? Coach, Trey Lance is coming off a stellar game. Is he in the process of taking the next step? Mike McCarthy says yes, but I think he's been in the process of that for a while now. He worked hard all offseason, and his play is speaking all the time. He has been improving and striving to be better. Trey Lance had a heck of an offseason, a heck of a training camp, apparently, because he was superstar by week 1, and now he's got a chance to be X Factor. Looked like he needed 400 yards and 1 or fewer turnovers or something like that. Well, we're going to peep in on this game and see what happens. At the half, the Cowboys have only put up 3 field goals. Trey Lance, how you doing on that breakout game? 159 yards and no picks. He's going to have a big second half if he wants that X factor. Cowboys will at least go on to win the game 17-19. Trey Lance, 296 yards, no touchdowns. Maybe his X factor will come as we sim the back half of the season. But the Cowboys now 6-2 in Trey Lance's 3rd season. Look like a lock for the playoffs. How high will they rise? Are they going to be looking at a 1st round bye? Or are they going to have another bad second half of the year and be scratching and clawing their way into a wild card spot? After being 5-2 at the midseason point, the Cowboys struggle in the back half of the year, winding up 10-7, but being on top of the NFC East. We got a one last hurrah from a veteran. Trey Lance having a talk with Mike. Coach, I wasn't going to say anything, but it feels like this might be it for Zach Martin. Is this Zach Martin's last year as a Cowboy? I talked to him at the beginning of the year and felt like this could be coming. This could be some extra motivation and fire we need for a deep run. Trey Lance, are you going to take us there? If this is it for him, we have to send him out with a ring and give him a storybook ending to his career. He deserves it after all these years. I could not agree more. Zach Martin deserves a ring. Trey Lance, I like the confidence. I like the attitude. You just got to take us there. But because of Zach Martin's potential retirement, the team is fired up. Plus 10 morale for all players going into the playoffs. Woo! This offense still has weapons. The offensive line is decent. Zach Martin's still there. Tony Pollard, a very solid running back. DK Metcalf, X Factor CeeDee Lamb, 84 overall Michael Gallup, and this Winters dude at 80 overall, bro. This team's got what it needs. That defense is still nasty as well with the 2 X Factors off the edge, 3 superstars in the secondary. No excuses. No excuses. Playing for Zach Martin. You've got all the pieces. This team has no excuses. Trey Lance with by far his best season up to this point. 4,200 yards, 38 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. CeeDee Lamb, another nice season. And DK Metcalf finally having his bounce back year with 11 touchdowns and nearly 1,000 yards. Finally, the DK Metcalf trade is producing something. Could this be the Super Bowl run? D-Law and Micah combining for another 26 sacks. Absolutely disgusting. Let's get into this wild card matchup with the 9-8 Panthers. Over on my second channel, we are doing a franchise rebuild of the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young in his 3rd year up to an 88 overall. JC Horn, 87. And the Panthers have Brandon Cooks. He was our 2nd most producing receiver our first 2 years with Trey Lance, and now we gotta go against him in the playoffs. At the end of the first half, it is 14-3 Panthers. The Cowboys gave up a nasty comeback in last year's wild card round. For Zach Martin, can they mount their own second half comeback behind Trey Lance? The gap only gets bigger at the end of the 3rd quarter. It's 21-6. And things are looking bleak for those Cowboys. 2 more field goals to start the 4th quarter. The Cowboys cannot get touchdowns. With almost 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter, the Cowboys will finally get their first touchdown. A touchdown pass to Michael Gallup. But down 12 and on defense, it's just not looking good. I'm an idiot, actually. They're only down 8. They get the ball back on the 2 with no timeouts. Can Trey Lance lead a legendary game-tying drive? He'll go start off throwing it away. It's okay. Save that clock. This is where legends are made. You got 53 seconds. It's time to be Patrick Mahomes, Trey Lance. It's time to be Pat Mahomes. He didn't get that X Factor during the season, but he can earn it now, figuratively. He'll step up and launch one. It's complete! Down to the 31. You've got to hurry up. Oh my gosh, 15 seconds gone. Very slow. You got to go deep and you got to get out of bounds. He's going to roll out left. He's looking, and now he throws it away. 25 seconds, Trey Lance. Trey Lance is going to fire it into the middle, pick up some yards, but it's going to be over. Spike it. They're not even spiking it. You got to take a shot at the end zone. And he'll launch it out of bounds. I imagine here comes the Hail Mary try. It's time to lob it up to CD, DK, somebody. Trey Lance, I hope you have the arm for this. He'll step up in the pocket. Rolling out. What is he doing? And he'll run it and lose the game for the Cowboys. This whole video was a mistake. This is embarrassing. Why am I injecting more embarrassing Cowboys playoff losses artificially into my soul? This whole video was a mistake. Through 3 seasons with Trey Lance, we have missed the playoffs at 8-9 and have 2 wild card round exits. If that's not a Dallas Cowboys caliber quarterback, I don't know what is. With Zach Martin gone and this offensive line depleted and Tony Pollard regressing, Trey Lance is an X Factor! No way. I was about to give up on this video. I was about to say, you know what, it was a bust, it was a failure, and suddenly Trey Lance is an X Factor. But Zach Martin is gone. DeMarcus Lawrence has regressed back down to a superstar, which is still better than where he started, I believe. One last dance. It was supposed to be Zach Martin's last dance, but I'll give this Trey Lance-led Cowboys team one last dance, just because he's an X Factor, and maybe this could be the MVP Super Bowl year. And we're not stopping along the way this time. We're simming straight to the end of the regular season to see what happened with this team. And after Trey Lance's 4th season as the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, they are 14-3. We're 14-2 before a Week 18 44-38 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. But what is happening with this team? CeeDee Lamb, a 99 overall. That's a heck of a go-to option in that passing game. Not only were they 14-3, but they secured a first-round bye, which means for the first time in this video, the first time under quarterback Trey Lance, the Cowboys are advancing to the divisional round of the playoffs. Trey Lance with 4,600 passing yards, 37 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. CeeDee Lamb with 11 touchdowns, 1,500 yards. Michael Gallup, a breakout 1,200 yards, 13 touchdown season. And DK Metcalf, once again, he did reach 1,000 yards, gotta give it to him, but still feels like he's underperforming. Micah Parsons with 24 sacks on the year. How about this man casually breaking the single season sack record? I am here for it. Also a 99 overall. Dude is just immaculate. Mike McCarthy winning Coach of the Year. It's time for the divisional round of the playoffs where the Dallas Cowboys will be playing the divisional rival Philadelphia Eagles. And somehow the Eagles are a better team on paper. 91 overall offense, 81 defense, but an 86 overall. Only a 9-8 record though. Quarterback Jalen Hurts appears to have regressed to a superstar. This is about to be a dogfight. I mentally cannot handle a loss in this game. If the Cowboys lose to the Eagles and a chance to head to the conference championship, I'm gonna lose my mind. Trey Lance versus Jalen Hurts. Here we go. And oh my goodness, it is an absolute shootout at the half. 28-28. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, this is insane. This is actually insane. Going through the third quarter. Now it seems to be slowing down the scoring wise, and the Cowboys will take the lead to end the fourth quarter. Jalen Hurts answers 35-35, 9 minutes to play. Cowboys driving back down the field. It'll be another touchdown. 42-35 in the divisional round. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to play. We gotta watch the rest of this game. Can the Cowboys defense stop Jalen Hurts' offense when it matters most? Jalen Hurts will dump it off for a big gain. At the 2-minute warning, this is coming down to the wire, man. I'd be a lot more stressed out if we didn't have the 7-point lead. Here comes the pressure of Wobbler. Gets completed for a ginormous Philadelphia first down. I thought that was about to be a soul-crushing sack. Goddard with his 9th catch of the game. Devontae Smith, a superstar down there. I see you. Jalen Hurts surveying, connects again. Every time I start watching the games, horrible things happen. As long as they keep him out of the end zone, it doesn't matter though. Jalen Hurts drops back in the empty gun. Going in the corner. Was that complete? It was. Oh my goodness. Down to the 4. Trayvon Diggs. Wow. The toe drag. The toe drag. Bend but don't break. Can the defense keep those Philadelphia Eagles out of the end zone? Jalen Hurts, it's a read option. He keeps it, and he's going to run it in, diving over Trayvon Diggs for the touchdown. Can Trayvon catch a break in this video? And the Eagles are going to tie it up. Trey Lance will have 3 timeouts and 1:23 to go win this playoff game. What? Jalen Hurts with a signature all-time play. Nose diving through Trayvon Diggs for a touchdown to tie it up in this divisional round matchup. Kick is good, and it's 42-42. Trey Lance, we have not won a playoff game in this video. Can you give me the most spectacular win I've ever seen, please? Trey Lance from the 25. Can you lead the game-winning drive of game-winning drives? Steps back. He's going to find Pollard for a first down. 496 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks for Trey Lance in this game. This is an MVP caliber quarterback. MVP caliber performance. Can he just win the game? Trey Lance, looking deeper and it connects to CeeDee Lamb for another first down. Getting hyped up here in Arlington. The Dallas Cowboys could have the biggest playoff win of my lifetime. A timeout with 36 seconds left. Already creeping up on field goal range. I have no idea who our kicker is. I don't trust Cowboys kickers in the playoffs after last season. But it looks like we're ready to run the ball. Do we trust the kicker to win this game? Hand off to Pollard. He's going to get a little bit off the edge. Bring it up to the 35. Another timeout. One timeout left. Don't mess up any freaking clock management, Mike McCarthy, please. Pollard will pick up another first. Clock's ticking. Are they going to let it go down to the final seconds? You better call a timeout right after this snap. Get it where the kicker likes it and call a timeout. There goes Pollard. Timeout, 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 timeout! Game-winning kick time. Can we put it through the goalposts for a playoff win against the Philadelphia Eagles to advance to the NFC Championship? This is a dream scenario. Number one, I don't know who you are, but just put it through. Sirianni's going to call a timeout to ice the kicker. 42-42. One of the greatest games of all time if this was a real-life NFL game. An all-timer. Can we end it in the best way possible? Put it through the goalposts. Ball is snapped. Kick is up. And it's good! The Cowboys with a 3-point lead just freaking tackle this returner. And that's gonna do it! The Cowboys have won a playoff game. They are advancing to the NFC Championship behind quarterback Trey Lance. That's the franchise QB right there. Just got a shoulder tap from Micah Parsons, casually being the greatest football player in the league. What a game. 513 yards, 5 touchdowns for Trey Lance. Oh my goodness. As incredible as that was, we've got 2 games to go. This video's gotta end in a Cowboys Super Bowl, right? Surely. Certainly. But this is the do or die season, and we are facing none other than the San Francisco 49ers in the conference championship. Oh my goodness, I could not write this script any better myself. Down go the Eagles. Now we gotta face Trey Lance's old team in the 49ers in the NFC Championship. I am not making this up. I've done nothing but simulate this crap. And here is the storybook moment that is lying in front of us. There's nothing else to do other than to just jump into this NFC Conference Championship. This has the potential to be the most exciting moment I've ever witnessed, or the most disappointing. Look at Brock Purdy, the X Factor. They are 3 overall up on the Cowboys. We'll see what happens. It is a home game as we are the 1 seed. In at&t Stadium, can we have the sweetest revenge game of all time? We'll take it quarter by quarter here at the start. 49ers open with a touchdown and another field goal. 17-0 after the first quarter. No! Can we mount a little bit of a comeback before the half, please? We'll get 3, followed by another Niners touchdown. A touchdown for the boys, and that's going to be the half, 24-10. The Cowboys gave up 24 straight points against the Vikings earlier in this video in 1 quarter. Never say never. Into the 4th quarter here, and it's 34-10. I think this team might have reached the end of the line. They will drive down and get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. I think it's going to be the end for Trey Lance and the Cowboys. We'll jump in just to see what could be the final drive. Trey Lance is going to be strip sacked, and the 49ers pick it up. The nail in the coffin, twisting the knife in my chest. Of course it ends with Trey Lance fumbling the ball and the Cowboys not recovering despite 3 boys in blue standing around there. Bro, he's helping Trey Lance up while the ball is live on the ground. Oh, this is just painful. Why? Why did I subject myself to this? A 4th turnover for Dallas, and that's going to be the end of the 14-3 season. But we made the conference championship as Christian McCaffrey just takes off for no reason. Oh, just salt in the wound. Get me out of here. And after 4 years, Trey Lance has his best season with the Cowboys. Technically the best season the Cowboys have had since those Troy Aikman Super Bowl days. But still, we must lose in embarrassing fashion as Trey Lance daps up the man who outperformed him in the first place, Brock Purdy. Trey Lance, how does it feel to always be second fiddle to a guy whose last name is Purdy? That's about all I can handle of this. Technically, it's possible this team still has more gas in the tank. I mean, Trey Lance at this point is only like 27 years old. So what we're going to do is sim 10 years into the future and see what became of this Dallas Cowboys team. Simulating 10 years into the future, where did Trey Lance and the Dallas Cowboys go? I'm just reading this post on Instagram about the Trey Lance trade. The 10 players drafted after Lance were Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, Devontae Smith, Justin Fields, Micah Parsons, and Rashawn Slater. Just something to think about. Also, holy crap, this is taking forever. It's still in the first year. I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes. I'm gonna go get some food or something. Dog, I literally went and got a pizza, and it's only 2032. We have advanced 10 more years into the future. It is now the year 2036. I am a 33-year-old old man with some snot-nosed kids and whatnot, but none of that matters because we need to find out what happened to the Dallas Cowboys. No one is still on the team. All generated players. We have an X-Factor quarterback, 77 overall, Schaefer. Mike McCarthy is still technically the head coach, though. The Niners went on that year to lose 7-38 to the Raiders after blowing us out. That's messed up. The following year, the Seahawks lost 21-26 to the Jaguars. Super Bowl MVP was Travis Etienne. Are those the Dak Prescott-led Seahawks? Did Dak Prescott get the Seahawks to the Super Bowl before Trey Lance and the Cowboys? What I'm not seeing is that navy blue Cowboy star. Commanders made it again and actually won. Repeat Super Bowl champions from the Washington Commanders. Three-peat, 3 in a row. Oh my goodness. Quarterback Jacob Weber. Trey Lance and the Cowboys never went anywhere. The best IRL quarterbacks that are still around are, funny enough, Trevor Lawrence and Brock Purdy. Joe Burrow at 39 years old is still kicking. Trey Lance found his way on to the New York Football Giants. At 36 years old, he is an 83 overall. We got to view this player card and see what ended up happening to my boy. His first year with the Cowboys, he had 4,100 yards and put up about 4,000 yards a season. Looks like in 2030, he had easily his best year as a Cowboy. In 2030, he had 33 touchdowns to 1 interception on 4,600 passing yards. That might have been an MVP season. I need to go back and look at 2030. He followed up in 2031 with 44 touchdowns to 3 picks. Trey Lance was balling, and it looks like he was still on Dallas in 2035, so this year with the Giants is his first year to be off the Cowboys, but he never won a thing. But looking at his awards, he did win back-to-back MVPs in 2030 and 2031. How about that, man? Never did he have enough playoff success to even make a Super Bowl, though. The closest he would ever make it is a blowout loss to his former team, the San Francisco 49ers, and that would be his legacy. Long story short, TLDR, Dak Prescott is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and Trey Lance, if he wants his turn, he's got to put in some work. Thank you so much for watching this crazy video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. That would mean the absolute world to me. This was a lot of fun to do. If you go follow my second channel, Kyro Gaming, I'm currently doing some episodic gaming playthroughs over there, as well as where I archive all of my live streams over on Twitch, another place you can follow me at. And if you're into sports, I'm about to start talking football all season long over on the Kyro Sports channel, so check me out over there. But I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you later. Peace. Mwah. See ya.